Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and today I want to talk to you guys about time. Doctor Strange came out, in the movie, in this game, he freezes time, spoilers, he fucking stops time, he reverses time, he forwards time, he Netflix and chills your mom with no time. But I'm not talking about Doctor Strange time. What I'm actually talking about is Marvel Future Fight time. This was a little bit inspired by a Reddit post. Basically, well, a couple of Reddit posts, but one in particular, trying to figure out how much time you need to spend to do every single game mode. Because as you guys know, aside from Shadowland, every single game mode in this game has to be completed every single day. I guess also the epic quest can't be really completed in a single day, but we're gonna kind of ignore part of the epic quest. We're just gonna talk about the memory missions in the Dark Dimension. But overall, pretty much almost every story or mode in the game needs to be completed daily. So the question is, how long does it take? Because this is a game that we want to play every day, but if it takes, hours on hours on hours to do everything, that can be a little bit disheartening. Now, at the onset, I do want to say, guys, that you don't necessarily have to do everything in the game every single day. Now, I do, but, if you don't have the time to, then you need to prioritize what you should do first. And there are other videos of mine that you can check out where I go over, if you really need to get gold, or if you really need to get crystals, or if you really need to get bios or whatever. So you can use those videos to prioritize your needs specifically there. But what I wanted to do today was go over basically what I do every day in the order I do it in. And give you guys a rough estimate of how long it takes me to complete things, so you have an idea of how long I take to play. So if you're trying to get to a level that I'm at, of course you have to put in the hours or the days that I've put in prior to my daily grind, because I've been playing this game for almost 2 years straight. And also, of course, guys, the money, because I'm all about the dough. I'm all about paying money to play this game. You guys know I evolved now. I'm not the small one. I'm the fucking whale lord. Okay, I'm a big boy. We got that water spout going on. Anyways, guys. So let's get into it. When I start the game off, I usually, if I don't have anything to record for it, I usually complete the world boss as soon as I can. Today is an exception because I've just been doing other things, but I usually go straight through that and just get it done as fast as I can. Now, of course, this will take longer depending on what kind of roster you have, but it honestly usually takes me less than 10 minutes. I just roll through it with teams, and it doesn't take very long. But I could see this taking, upwards of an hour if you have a very new roster and you're trying to do it with, suboptimal teams like Kingpin, Groot, and, Deathlock. That team can do it, but it's going to take you multiple tries. So, I'm trying to understand, and I'm trying to keep in mind that I'm not the average player, but I just want to give you guys, my times as well as others, so you have a better idea of what's going on. Then, just because the tabs are right next to each other and I'm a lazy person, I usually go and I do Villain Siege. This one takes me probably about 5 to 6 minutes. The first 2 stages are just one shot with the recommended heroes. That's very, very easy. And then on this last stage, I usually can't clear it with the recommended heroes. And holy shit, I will not be able to clear this with the recommended heroes today because they suck balls. I'm going to have to clear it with someone like Thanos, get Loki down to 1%, and then go back and try to clear with these 3 useless wrecks, dredges of humanity. So this usually takes me about 5-6 minutes. So we're up to about 15 minutes now. I also like to do my dailies, my 2 daily quests right after the reset. So I'm doing them during hot time. That takes me about another, 4 minutes. We're up to about 20 minutes now. Then I like to do just the first 2 missions of my specials. I like to do the unlimited 30-minute progress during the next hot time, not during the first hot time. So that takes me about another, 4 minutes. So we're up to about 24 minutes now. And then it gets a little bit more interesting. But see, as you guys can see, I've already cleared basically 4 game modes. I've cleared one of the best game modes for gold, and I've cleared one of the most important game modes for like other items and other materials and rank up stuffs within the first half an hour that I've played the game. And this is right after the reset. I try to do things right after the reset. I know not everybody can, but that's what I try to do. Then I go into the arena and I prioritize Alliance Battle. I just try to breeze through the first mode of Alliance Battle as fast as I can. And once that's done, I usually get that done in about 5 minutes now with the new Alliance Battle mode. Rage, Q Rage and Q, Internalized Oppression. So we're up to about 30 minutes now, but I usually kind of lollygag a little bit between game modes. I kind of scratch my back and pick the earwax out of my eyes. So maybe about 45 minutes, let's say. Let's just be generous here. 45 minutes. But I try to get all the gold related stuff done before hot time is over. Because, stuff like Alliance Battle, Timeline, Co-op, it doesn't get affected by hot time at all. So you don't have to worry about that. After that, I actually don't do Extreme Mode yet, guys. Then I usually go over to Timeline and I do my 10 Timeline runs. This usually takes me, honestly, with Doctor Strange, like with my broken ass team, it usually takes me only about 30 seconds to kill the other team. But with all the loading screens and searching for enemies, it usually takes on average about 2 to 3 minutes per fight. So this can eat easily 20 to 30 minutes of my time. Now you could get this done a lot faster if you just pick the very first team at 30 points, but I want to, get a little bit higher rank, so I try to go for those 79-point victories. If you're really tight on time, you can even auto it. There are some interesting Reddit posts about people who tried it on full auto for the whole week or so far to see what rank they can get and if they can still stay in the Vibranium League, which is the league that is the top one of all the leagues. So, that doesn't have to eat so much time of yours, or it can eat time while you're doing something else. You're cooking for the misses, you're bagging your next victim, while, Timeline is autoing for you. So we're up to about an hour here, maybe, an hour and 5 minutes. And then things kind of fall off from there. Now, I don't really get into the story stuff because I honestly don't do story missions anymore. I know that's unfair to a lot of people who still farm a lot of characters from the story missions, and if you do, that's great. Try to run things on auto if you can. I know clear tickets are a problem, so what I actually like to do is I like to run co-op on manual auto. What that means is I'll have my phone or I'll have my tablet in the background, and every so often when I have a chance, I will run one of these characters, and then the page will stay up, and then I'll run them through and I'll go to the next one. And I just do that while I'm doing other things during my day to try to save on those 90 fucking clear tickets. So saving on those 90 clear tickets is something that you could then put towards story missions, which is what I do, to then speed up the process, because I don't want to have to run these. Because running a story mission is going to take you between a minute and a minute 30 with like loading screens and all that kind of stuff. Maybe closer to a minute. But if you need a lot of bios, that's going to eat up like 1 or 2 hours, and we're trying to crunch that time down as much as possible, guys. So that's that. Then the memory missions usually take me about 10 to 15 minutes. Same thing with Dark Dimension. So we're hovering right around 2 hours right now in game time, which is quite a lot, I'm not gonna lie. Then we do the 2 dimension rifts because I want to get those 2 bonuses at least, progression 1 and progression 2. That takes me about another 20 minutes, 10 minutes a pop. So we're up to about 2 hours, 20 minutes. I usually goof around in the lab and in the item shop looking for goodies for my debris boys and my gear up girls. So that's usually another like 10 minutes a day, like divided up into like 1 minute, or like you just saw, 10-second intervals. So up to about 2.5 hours. The rest of my time, like I said, I spend a lot of time doing co-op, but I don't spend that time staring at my phone or staring at my tablet. I do it while I'm doing other things, so I try to maximize my time that way. If you have that opportunity available to you, I highly recommend that you take that, because otherwise co-op, will eat about an hour to an hour and a half of your time by itself. And I think co-op is probably the most unnecessary time sink right now. I know that a lot of people really enjoy co-op. Hopefully I didn't say timeline before. I know people really enjoy co-op, and I know it's a really fun game mode, and it lets you use all of your roster. But I just think right now it's an unnecessary amount of time, and it gets repetitive very fast when you've got a large roster, and it's very necessary to do, although it feels unnecessary because of the time. The rewards, especially when you're a higher VIP and you have multiple slots available, the rewards are just unignorable. You can't really skip co-op too often if you want to stay competitive. So I feel like we're due for an overhaul a little bit on co-op, just so that we can get our time back a little bit for other game modes, for the epic quests, for extreme alliance battle. I'm not suggesting put your pitchforks down. I'm not suggesting that they limit the number of runs or that they nerf the rewards or anything like that. But I just gonna casually say, if there was some kind of restructuring to forward the amount of time it takes and to shorten the amount of time it takes to run through this co-op mess without nerfing the rewards or making people feel like they're getting shafted, Netmarble would really be doing us a solid, because right now I think a lot of people are feeling the time crunch, and that's A, what made me inspired to make this video, but B, also made me look more closely at the different game modes and how much time it takes them. But anyways, so with the co-op stuff playing, intermittently, we're up to about 3.5 hours. I'd say about 3.5 hours. Then we get to the final step here, which is the Extreme Alliance Battle. Now, depending on how competitive you are in your alliance, depending on how competitive your alliance is, depending on how often you feel like, force closing your game before you smash your tablet or you smash your phone, will dictate how many retries you give this. I am pretty competitive by nature, so I usually do about anywhere from 20 to, no joke guys, no joke, I usually do between like 10 and 30 force closes per day. I'm not very good at extreme alliance battle, as you guys can see, and so this usually eats up about another hour of my time at least. If I can give it more, I try to give it more, just to try to get the maximum score that I can. So that puts me up to around 4.5 hours now, almost 5 hours, and that's every single day. So as you guys can see, and this is around the numbers that other people get, 4 or 5 hours. That's a long time to play a game. It's great that there's this much content in the game for us to play, but it's also a little bit crushing, given that phone batteries don't last 5 hours being played with a game running in the foreground, and it's a lot more difficult than people would think to run it on a computer, or run it on a secondary situation in which battery is not an issue. So I think 5 hours is something that maybe they want to look into. I don't really have any concrete suggestions. Like I said, I just casually said they should look at co-op. I think co-op is the biggest offender of this. You don't actually have to spend that much time on alliance battle if you don't if you don't get butt hurt like me over your score. And there's other ways to optimize your time with different game modes. So really the only one that we can't optimize and that we're kind of forced to sit through is co-op. Now I know there's the auto repeat option, but that can get stuck. You can disconnect, you can get kicked from the server, and you can get hung up on a stage because of some glitch. So it can really error out and fuck up your timing if you're not watching the game, if you're just kind of off doing something else. So even then, when you try to optimize it, given the tools that Netmarble has given you, sometimes it doesn't work out, and you end up wasting still upwards of 2 hours running one game mode. And I think that's really where the most change should happen, and would be the most effective for the player base. Finally, of course, guys, I know there's Battleland, there's Shadow World and Battleland, guys. I know Shadowland does take a long time, but it's only once a week, so I'm not really going to cover it in the daily grind. If it's once a week and you play about 30 minutes a day, you're probably going to get through as many missions as you could get through, whether that's 5 or 10 or 25. So that adds about, let's say, half an hour every day. I'm being generous. It probably isn't even half an hour a day, because that's over 7 days. That's a long fucking time to play Shadowland. And then Battle World. You know, some people skip Battle World, they don't play all the time, so it's again questionable how much time you spend. But we're looking, guys, at about 5 hours. 5 hours per day to play this game. I personally don't mind, but I do see the point that other people make, that it's a little bit too much. And I think that if we got that number down just a little bit to maybe about 4 hours a day clean, or 3.5, I think it would help a lot of people who are kind of on the fringes of being into this game, and they want to invest, but it's a little bit too much to ask up front. I think it would be very good for them. I know if you're a new player, of course, you're not going to be spending hours on co-op, but still, it quickly adds up once your roster, you know, kind of beefs up. So it does, the time does get sunk in there very quickly. So those are my thoughts on the time that it takes, guys. I'm also skipping things like character upgrades, optimizations, rolling for obelisks, rolling for gear, and ISO sets. That obviously can take even more time. You can be looking at 6-7 hours a day, but that's infrequent, and that's kind of something that you can play around with your time. So you can do that when you have more time on the weekend, after your boyfriend or girlfriend dumps you, you know, in those situations. So let me know what you guys think about this discussion. Let me know how long you spend playing the game, if you want more content, or if you feel like we're kind of at the cap or at the limit and we need something reduced, or something, I don't want to say removed, but just something edited or tweaked, or you know, shortened. And of course, guys, if you like what you see, I hope to see you again tomorrow. Take care.